Not at all. We haven't finished today.
Thanks for coming in today. I really appreciate you taking the time.
You mind if I take a seat?
No, absolutely.
So here's my card, and please contact me if you have any questions or concerns.
Absolutely, thank
Do
you.
you mind if I take a couple notes during our meeting today?
No, go for it.
Awesome. So how about that weather today?
Oh, that was beautiful. Almost a little too warm for this time of the year.
You know, I'm a really big skier coming
Yep.
from New England, and I'm just really bummed because I'm really nervous about like there being enough snow for ski season.
So yeah, go a little further north. I'll keep the snow. It ruins my commute.
It ruins everyone's commute, but
Looks nice,
just
though.
your weekends are so much funner when you can actually be
This is
enjoying
true.
that snow. Like, what kind of things can you do when it's 40 degrees out?
That's true. It does limit your
Overcast.
activities. Yeah, a little bit of
No.
snow.
So I
I'll
gotta
take
be-
part in the lodge activities
So
instead
either be
of
60
skiing.
or like 30.
Yeah.
So, is there anyone else that should be here today that's crucial to the decision-making process?
So Pat, as I think you know, is going to be the ultimate person to sign off on this, but Pat couldn't make it today. I'm evaluating all the technologies, and I'm ultimately going to be helping along with that decision-making process. So it'll just be me today.
And I know your secretary said you had about 10 minutes. Is that still?
Yes, yep, that's correct.
So to be completely respectful of your time, I went ahead and put together a small agenda. I wanted to just get to know your needs a little bit about SBO, and then maybe pitch you some ideas about Oplia, and then try to merge that information together to show you how SBO can hopefully be of value to your company.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. So right now you guys are getting about 100 million views a month from unique visitors. Is that correct?
We actually have partially correct. We have 100 million unique visitors per month.
Yes.
We generate about 500 million.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
So do you know where the majority of this traffic comes from?
Yeah, sports fans really is what it comes down to. We're one of the global leading news providers for sports. So it's all sports fans. It's people coming from Boston, New York, LA,
It's
Chicago.
coming from all over the country.
Yep.
Are you getting this revenue? Are you getting this traffic mostly from like Google or from advertising or?
So we don't get the traffic from advertising, but advertising is extremely important to us because it's a
That's where you get
huge,
your revenue.
huge stream of revenue for us. So yeah, it's a lot of Google. So you go online and you want to learn. We're in New England. I want to learn more about the Patriots. Somebody Googles New England Patriots. We're ideally the first thing that pops up. But the problem that we're running into is these local news areas are taking up some of the market share for us.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're having problems is we cover such a broad variety of sports. So if you go to our site right now, it probably has highlights from whatever the major game was last night. That might not be interesting to somebody from a specific city who doesn't want to know about what the competition's doing. They want to learn about their favorite players, their favorite teams doing. Yeah. So these local news markets are taking up some of our revenue stream. They're taking up our visitors. It's ultimately what's happening. It's decreasing our page views, time on site, and number of subscriptions, and that's hugely problematic to us.
So do you know of these 100 million unique visitors that you get? Do you know approximately how many of them convert to return visitors?
So from a return visitor standpoint, I'm not positive, but I know we have about 30 to 40% of them are subscribers. So that's technically speaking, those are return users because they pay for a premium version of our site, so they get exclusive content. So those are people that we know will always be returning, and those are very valuable because not only do they drive revenue to our site, we can then take that number, X, and say to an advertiser, here's a group of people that are always on our site, and we know a little bit about them because we know what their favorite sports team are, things like that, and we can take it back to the advertiser and say, here's how much we value them at. We can sell that to them. But again, the more that drops, the more problematic it is for us. Even though we're still a leader in the space, we don't want to be trending downward. We need to be trending upward.
So, technically speaking, and from your words, about a 1% increase in these unique visitors per month, that would increase about 100 million visitors to your site as return visitors per month?
Theoretically, I think it would actually be 1% of 100 million. I think it would be 1 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah, but yes, that's the number. No, that would be correct.
So how do you think that would increase your market share?
I could then go back to the advertisers and say,
Yeah.
look at this number. It's 1 million more people. We can crank that up a bit.
Awesome. So as of right now, how do you guys track what your customers are doing, what they're looking for, what their specific wants and needs are?
So that's a big problem. So we have things like Google Analytics that tell us what people go to our website and look for once they hit the home page. But the problem is, again, for an example, I'm from Boston. If I come to my homepage and the first thing I see is something about New York, I'm probably just going to leave And that's a big problem.
I would too.
Yeah, so that's a big problem for us. That's where we're seeing people bouncing off of our site and going to these regional marketplaces because they can get the specific info they need immediately. So that's really where we're seeing problems.
So you're seeing problems with that. Are you guys able to customize, once your customer gets there, are you guys able to customize the website specifically to them?
No. Again, that's why our friends over at Lightwave mentioned actually that you may have a product that could help us do that, because ultimately that's the end goal here. We know where we're failing. We just need to figure out how to fix it, and we don't know how to do that right now.
Well, later in the presentation, I would really like to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
So as of right now, you're not really able to customize your website to your customers. Is there anything else that you'd like to need to know about any of your concerns?
Customizing content is important, but we'd like to know what's the end game there. We've been told that if we customize the content, we're gonna increase the things that we're having problems with, but we don't know. We don't know any people that have done this in the past.
What is that really gonna do?
Exactly. What's this gonna do for us? And who can we talk to say that we did this and we had this result type thing? That's the problem.
So what I'm hearing from you right now, you guys are having an issue with converting unique visitors into return visitors to your site. And then once they get to your site, you're having issues with tracking those customers and your process isn't quite as efficient as you'd like it to be. And also that you'd really like to try to customize your content to them, so hopefully they stick around on your site longer.
Yeah, absolutely. With the ultimate end goal of increasing, people, page views per month, time on site, things that we can then take back to those advertisers and sell them on.
Awesome. So Acquia Lift is a platform that optimizes revenue for marketing companies as yourselves by providing personalized digital experiences for your customers. And what this really does is once the customer gets to your website, Acquia Lift's analytics has already known that customer before they've gotten to your website. So if they typed you in on Google, Acquia Lift could tell what they were maybe looking on Google before they were looking at you. They can also look at their geolocation as to if they're from Boston. So they know, like, when they get to your website, not to put something up of the Yankees or the Jets, because they know that they're not going to like that.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome.
So they're able to also do the geolocation stuff, and they also can, if it's raining out, they can test what type of color schemes might be, particular well for this color for this day or not. And Acquia Lift really takes care of all of that type of stuff, so marketing teams like yourselves can just focus more on the content that you have to deliver. They take care of a lot more of the analytics stuff, and then they give you the numbers so you guys can produce the best content for your customers.
Wow. All right, so there's a lot of good information in there, and that's something I'm obviously very, very interested in, because it sounds like it could be a solution to the exact problem we have. I mean, do you have any customers that you could talk about that you could maybe show me some numbers that could back those stats?
So also here's a couple of handouts as to just some of the basics that Acquia Lift does.
Great.
So Elle Magazine, when they started using Acquia Lift, they received a 20% increase in their page views. And Toronto Life Magazine, when they started using Acquia Lift, they also saw a 4 times increase in their subscriptions to their online magazine.
Wow, that's awesome. So theoretically then, if I was to sign off on this today and have it implemented, I would see those results immediately?
You might not see them immediately, but we're hoping that within the first couple months of us using you, as Acquia Lift gets to know your customers better, our tests improve with time, so then we're really able to drive our content. We're really able to take your content and drive it directly to what each customer is specifically looking for.
That's great. So again, our web team's pretty strapped right now, and this is obviously a huge priority for us, but again, if I was to sign off on this, what would the implementation time period look like for something like this? Because we really don't have the resources to do this ourselves right now. But if we could get it implemented as soon as possible and start slowly picking off some of those users that we're trying to get after, that would be very, very beneficial for us.
So you're looking for a more simple implementation process?
Yes.
Awesome. So Acquia Lift is a very simple process to start. What would happen is we'd have an engineer come to your site, and the upgrade process is really just upgrading a software. So this would not take very long, and an engineer would stay on site with you for the process that takes. So if there were to be a problem, which there probably wouldn't be, an engineer would be there right away to help you. Does this answer your concern?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. That's great. So, ultimately what it comes down to here is that, this isn't a free software, and we actually don't have a budget set aside for this right now. So could you maybe just talk a little bit about numbers and what this ultimately going to cost us?
hopefully with the increase in your page views, you could increase your revenue by, charging your advertisers more to advertise on your site.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, that's definitely correct. But at the end of the day, it's still going to cost us, something for this, right? Do you have any numbers around, what's it going to cost us to buy this?
Fortunately, I don't have the specific numbers right now because it all depends on the specific needs of your company.
Okay, that makes sense.
And we could talk about that further at a meeting.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe that would make more sense if we pulled in Pat for that conversation and talked a little bit more about the numbers, because I'm not going to be the one writing you the check anyways.
Would you like to set aside a time to make this meeting?
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
So does Tuesday at 10 work or Wednesday at 4?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay, so I'll send you a confirmation email.
Perfect, that sounds great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in today. Appreciate it.